So doing a quick roll call to see who all we have. We have Aryan, we have Dev, we have Dhanvin, Chris, we have both the Chris, we have Nikhil, we have Praneet, Ria, Sravya, Sunarka, and somebody joined. Rehan also joined. Okay, wonderful. So let's get started. So yesterday we talked about the circle theorem. So when we talk about circle theorem, we saw how the circle theorem came into existence. We also proved how this formula for circle theorem, which is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. We saw how this circle theorem came into existence. And then we also talked about how do we relate this theorem to find out the properties of a circle. So if you guys all remember, somebody joined in between. Let me just check. It is. Okay, no, I think somebody got dropped off and joined again. So that's fine. So this is the standard form of a circle equation or circle theorem, whatever you call it. And by looking at the circle equation, you should be able to derive the property of a circle. And any circle that we know of has only two things that we need to be aware of. One is where is the center and what is the radius. As long as you know these two things, the length of the radius and the coordinates of the center, as long as we know this, we should be able to decode anything and everything related to the circle. This part is clear. Now, this is what I would say, but anybody in the class who is not clear about it, I would want to hear it from you guys before I move on. Hey Vishal. Everybody clear, right? Is that a fair assumption? Okay. Now from this one itself, if I have this as a circle theorem or the equation for the circle, from this we can decode that h and k are the coordinates, x and y coordinates respectively of the center. So if I'm talking about, if I visualize the circle in this coordinate plane, and this is my circle equation, what it means is the coordinates, x and y coordinates of my center are h and k. And this r is the radius. That is what defines or describes your equation for the circle. So far I'm assuming everybody with me, right? Sunarka, Sravya, Rehan, everybody is clear? That's yes. Right? Okay. Now, so that being said, if you come to a point that where somebody says, okay fine, your circle equation is x squared plus y squared equal to 9. Then what happens? That simply means that your x and y coordinates are 0. That is how you said x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared equal to 9 or 3 squared. So here your h and k became 0. That is how it got converted to this equation. Okay? So if you are dealing with an equation like this, then you are simply saying that your circle is no more here. It actually moved this way. Okay, I know this doesn't look like a circle, bear with me. And the center comes here, which is 0, 0. So basically there are different forms of the equation that you all will come across, but your underlying concept of the circle equation will not change. The circle equation, whenever you relate any of the circle's equation with your standard form, the circle equation, you should be able to relate, decode and say, hey, this is my center and this is my radius. So this is the underlying concept that we have learned so far, and we have also seen how this circle theorem was derived or arrived at. Now what we'll do is, we'll try solving few problems in the class. It is not to get you guys stressed out, but more towards reaffirming that whatever we have learned, we are able to apply that and we are able to deal with the problems relating to these concepts whenever we need to. So let's look at some of the problems that I had probably put across yesterday, but we did not get time to go through them all. So we'll try solving few of the problems and then we'll move on to the next topic, which is more on the algebra side of the things. Okay, that is unit 6 in the Khan Academy for SAT Prep. So we'll do some problems first and then we'll start our journey with unit 6, which is for algebra medium level. So let's look at some of the problems which we had not looked at yesterday. So the first question, okay, and remember my boring concept. Okay, we'll take that into account for solving this problem. Let's see if we have solved this problem. I don't think we solved this problem yesterday. The question says a circle in the xy plane has a diameter with endpoints at 8, 10 and 2, 0, minus 2, 0. Which of the following is the center of the circle? And again, I'm repeating the question because we believe in reading the question again and again. A circle in the xy plane. Okay, this is my xy plane. I'm just doing the rough work while we're talking, while I'm reading the question. A circle in the xy plane has a diameter with endpoints at 8, 10 and minus. So my circle has a diameter with endpoints at 8, 10 and minus 2, 0. Which of the following is the center of the circle? Now we have read the question 2 times. One last time I'm reading it. It says a circle in the xy plane has a diameter with the endpoints 8, 10 and minus 2, 0. Which of the following is the center of the circle? And these are the options we are given. One is 5, 3, 3, 5, 5, 5, 6, 10. Now you guys have heard this question so many times. I've read it enough to get you guys bored and tired. And by reading it so many times, I also kind of memorized it. That there is a circle in the xy plane where the diameter, one of the diameters, right? If you're talking about a circle, this is a diameter, this is a diameter, this is a diameter, this is a diameter. So every line that goes through the center of the circle and cuts the circle into 2 parts is a diameter. So it says one of the diameters is 8, 10 and minus 2, 0. Which of the following is the center of the circle? Now, I want you guys to think and tell me which one seems to be the answer. In the first attempt, I would want 5 of you to tell what the answer would be. And then, once I get 5 answers from 5 different kids, be it the same or different, then I'll probably catch hold of some of you to describe how or why do you think that answer is right. So, I hope everybody is clear with the question part of it, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I want to see what are the answers I'm getting from you guys. Today is your day for teaching me now.
Sir, for the first point, I can't quite read what it said. I think there's a reflection on it. What's the first point?
Okay, so let me read the question for you so that you can note it down while I'm talking. So circle is in the xy plane.
Yeah.
The 2 endpoints of the diameter are 8, 10 and minus 2, 0.
Okay, thank you. I can see it now.
Yeah, okay. See if this helps you read. Yes, Tanvin, you're saying something?
Is it 3, 5?
3, 5. I will reserve this answer for you for now. Let's see what is the answer we are getting from everybody, and then I would ask you guys to explain why you think that is the right answer, so that way we will know whether we are thinking in the right direction or not. Okay? Hello, Ritika.
Hi, sir.
So Ritika, we are just continuing from where we had left yesterday. So yesterday we talked about the circle equation and we talked about the standard form of the circle equation, which is this, and we also proved that. So today we are trying to solve some problems relating to that concept and see whatever we have learned, are we able to apply that. So this is the first question that I have asked you guys to look at. The question says, there is a circle in the xy plane where the diameter has two endpoints like 8, 10 and minus 2, 0. Which one is the center of the circle? So we are given four options, 5, 3, 3, 5, 5, 5 and 6, 10. So, okay, let's see what is Chris's answer.
I also got 3, 5 for this one.
Okay,
Same, sir.
same. How about you, Nikhil?
Yes, sir.
3, 5. How about you, Chris?
Yeah, same thing.
Same.
I got 3, 5.
Okay. Alright. How about you, Aryan?
I got 3, 5.
No, that's not a good news for me. Everybody is getting same answer. Then what do I teach? Okay. Now I'll just handpick one of you, and Dhanvin being a new student, let's see how Dhanvin would teach that to me. Yeah, Dhanvin, why do you think it's 3, 5?
Well, like the y's, the y values are between 10 and 0, so it should be like in between 0 and 10, and so the half would exactly be 5, and then the x value is negative 2 and 8. Probably the center of those 2 points would be 3, because 5 would be too close to 8. So yeah,
Okay.
and 3 and negative 2 have like 5 points difference, and 3 and 8 have 5 points difference. So I
Okay.
think
No, so you're thinking in the right direction, Dhanvin. So your solution is more, or your response is more with an analytical aspect of it, right? So your answer is not wrong. I'm saying your answer is perfectly fine. Let's see if somebody has a different way of describing it. But you're spot on with your answer. Yes, Pranit.
So I used the 2 points and found the slope between them and made like an equation out of it, like a slope-intercept equation. And then whichever point lies on those points lie on the equations line would be the center. And I found the 3, 5 to be the answer, while the others didn't follow that slope.
So basically what Pranit is saying is, he said, okay, he found 2 points, 8, 10. So let's say this is 4, 8, 10. So this is 8, this is minus 4, minus 8, minus 12. And then this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is minus, this is plus. So what Pranit said was, I found the first point 8, 10. So 8, 10. Okay, 10. Okay, let's say this is also 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And I'm literally playing with the units, right? I mean, you can always choose. Deep, you got a little late, but it's okay. We are just practicing what we learned yesterday, so you have not missed anything so far. Okay. So what Pranit did was, he found 8, 10 as first point, 8, 10. This is 1 point. And minus 2, 0. So minus 2 is here. So he joined these 2 points and found out the slope of this one. Right? He found the slope by slope of any line which is made between 2 points is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. He found the slope, and from that slope he tried to find out the middle point between the 2 lines, okay, between the 2 endpoints. And essentially you have to always look at, if you have the diameter if this is the diameter of the circle, 2 endpoints of the diameter, and says essentially the center would be in the middle. So that will be the way to go. But yeah, Pranit, your answer is perfectly fine, mathematically very pure, very correct. Let's see if Nikhil has a different way to describe it. Yes, Nikhil.
So I use the midpoint formula.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did. Like I added up the points and then I subtracted the points and then I like divided them by 2.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, Nikhil used the midpoint formula. Anybody else has a different point of view? So see, in this, for one question, I have heard 3 different approaches. One is the analytical approach that Dhanvin gave. Nikhil gave the midpoint formula, and Pranit gave the concept of linear equation where he took the 2 points, find out the slope of the line, and based on that he picked up a point which is in the middle, and that also should, since it is on the same line, it will also have the same slope, and then he related the concepts, right, Pranit? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else having a different approach? See, what this means is, based on whatever we have seen, every problem you will find that as we learn more and more, it's the same problem you will be able to solve in 4 different ways, or maybe 5 different ways. And that's what we are experiencing right now. And that's one of the reasons why I keep on insisting you guys to exchange as much information you can. Because now you might have found a way to solve a problem, but your friend might have a much more efficient, much more a much less time consuming approach also. So I mean, this WhatsApp group that I have created for you guys, where I post my videos, where I post my topic for the day, I would be much more happy if I see you guys also exchanging problems, saying, okay, I solved this problem, this is my approach, see if you have a better approach or different approach. That is the end state I'm looking forward to. When you guys start exchanging a lot of things among yourself, trust me, this learning will become more fun. But anyways, I'm not insisting on that for now. That's more of a recommendation. Now, everybody got the right answer, no denying that. But still, as a teacher, I have a habit of wasting time. So I will waste a little bit of time for you guys, just to give a different perspective. Now, whenever you have a diameter, whenever you are given this situation where you have 2 endpoints of a diameter, if you look at a diameter is nothing but half of the radius. Half of the radius. So here, when you look at, if you visualize this, these are two endpoints given to us. Now look at, let's say this is the center here. How do you find out the center? See, this from here to here, this is the total length of or total height, or the difference between the y coordinates of this point and this point. And then from here to here, if you see, this is the total distance between the x coordinates of the 2 points. And if the center is here, let's say the center is here, visually or intuitively also, if you see, look at this. I'm making it look dirty, but I'm just trying to make it a little cleaner for you guys. Now look at this situation and this situation. If this is my center, this is, let's say, P, this is my point Q, and let's say here I'm drawing a perpendicular here, it is R, and this is S. If you look at this small triangle QOR and triangle PSO, this is my center, okay? You will find that these 2 triangles are actually congruent. And you'll think that why this gentleman is trying to complicate this further. I'm trying to tell you guys that, okay, let me first complete my chain of thoughts. What I'm saying is, this triangle and this triangle are congruent. What does it mean? This distance and this distance are same. And then, okay, then this angle is 90 degree, this angle is 90 degree. this angle and this angle will be the same, okay? And hence this angle will be same because these two are parallel lines. I am just drawn parallel here. So if these two triangles are congruent, that means this height and this height will be the same. This height and this height, this length and this length will be the same. Essentially, what I am trying to say is, if you look at, okay, let me help you guys conclude that in a simpler way. So, on this unwanted calculation, I am trying to show you guys here, right? Okay, somebody join in between. I see Neil and Sarah also have joined. And okay, Neil and Sarah were missing, so they have joined. Wonderful. So let's go from the beginning. We were given that a circle is in a xy plane, and these are the two endpoints of the diameter. Find out the coordinate of the center. We were given two options, I've deleted them. Now, here what did I do was, I'm just trying to probably complicate this to simplify this for you guys, just to build an interpretation of it. Let's say this is my circle. This is 8, 10, and let's say this is, okay, now this is here, 2, 0. I did not do a good job while drawing it. So let's say, okay, let's say this one. Let's say this is minus 2, 0. Minus 2, 0. So
it'd be on the x-axis.
On the x-axis, correct. No, that's why I'm saying I did not do a good drawing. That's why it is getting confusing. So this is 8, 10 and minus 2, 0 here. This is my diameter. Okay. So we are trying to find out the center. Now look at, let's say this center is here. Okay. Now for this center to be here, what I'm doing right now is drawing a perpendicular from here onto the x-axis. So this gives me the difference in the x coordinate from here to here, which is 8 and minus 2. So difference between this 8 minus 2. This gives me the difference in the x-axis, which is 10. Let's keep it for now. And this difference between the y coordinates value between the 2 points will be 10 minus 0, which is again 10. So this is the difference. What I was trying to do was, here, let's drop a perpendicular from here to here and from here to here. Now what you will see is this triangle and this triangle are congruent. Okay, because one side is same, this angle and this angle will be same because again these are two parallel lines. This angle and this angle will be same because again these two are parallel lines and these are corresponding angles, and this is nearest 90 degree. So using A as A, the two triangles are congruent. That means this length and this length are same, this length and this length are same. What is that I am trying to derive from this one? What I am trying to derive is your center of the circle. Your center of the circle. Your center of the circle, the x coordinate is half of the distance, half of the difference between the final, this point and this point's difference. Similarly, the y coordinate is the half of this distance between the 2 points. Meaning, any circle's center, if you look at, if you are given the diameter, you can simply find out the average of x coordinates and the y coordinates. Basically, just add them together and find out the average. That will be the coordinate of the center always. I took a little longer route because I was trying to explain that to you guys that if you have two endpoints, the 2 points in the diameter, if you know the x and y coordinate of that one and assume this to be the x and y, this x and y will be half of this plus this because these two are same. Similarly, the y coordinate will be half of this whole thing, meaning this plus this. These two will be same. So if you just add the x coordinates and the y coordinates and take the average of that, that will be your coordinates of the center always. No matter whether the coordinates given are like this or are the horizontal coordinates. If you let's say if you draw a circle which coincides with the origin of the coordinate plane, you will see that these 2 points, this radius and this radius, these two are radius, right? So let's say this will be x comma 0 and this will be minus x comma 0. So this point will be sum of these two, x plus minus x divided by 2 and 0 plus 0 divided by 2. So a summary of what I'm trying to say or what I'm trying to conclude is, if you are just given the coordinates of the diameter, you don't have to do any fancy calculation. Just add the x coordinates and take the average. Add the y coordinates, take the average, that will be your center of the circle. Yes, Puneet.
Isn't that the midpoint formula?
It's the midpoint formula, yes. So basically, so again, you can visualize this the way I have done it, or you can visualize this like a Pythagorean theorem also. That this is a right angle triangle, this is a right angle triangle. If you are this, hypotenuse are the same and the angles are same. So if these two are same, then these two will also be same again. So any which way you relate, in the simplest form, this question, if you guys are clear about the concept part of it, this question should not take you more than 20 seconds to solve. You have to just add, take average, done. Make sense? Danvin, Nikhil,
Yes, sir.
Ria, Deep, everybody clear?
Yep.
Okay. So Dhanvin, to your point now, right? You were saying that this one seems to be closer, this one seems to be farther. I'm saying, okay, don't even worry about it. Take the average and up. Yeah?
No,
So this problem will be your easy picking. Tomorrow if you have to solve a problem like this will be your one of those first few problems that you would want to attempt so that you can move fast and save time for the complex one that will come your way. Okay? Okay, let's look at another problem. I am assuming everybody is clear with whatever we have done so far. Yeah? Now the next question. This time I took a little longer because I wanted to double click on that, make sure everybody understands this, and it was more of a jump start. But this one will probably move a little faster. I'm reading the question for the second one. A circle in the xy plane has its center at 7, 14. Has a center at 7, 14. If the point 7, 34 lies on the circle, if the point 7, 34 lies on the circle, which of the following is the equation of the circle? So this is the center of the circle. This point lies on the circle. Basically, this is one of the points on the perimeter somewhere. Which of the following is the equation of the circle? So you are given 4 options: x plus 7 squared plus y plus 14 squared equal to 20. This is one option. Second option is x minus 7 squared plus y minus 14 squared equal to 20. Third option is x plus 7 squared plus y plus 14 squared equal to 400. Fourth option is x minus 7 squared plus y minus 14 squared equal to 400. So you guys have only, in ideal case, you should be able to solve this problem in 30 to 40 seconds. That's it. Let's see what your answers are and what your thought process is around that. Yes, Nikhil.
I got the answer.
What is that? Which one?
I got 4.
Option 4, okay. Hold your horses for a little bit, Nikhil. I'll come back to you asking you to explain why you think so. Yeah, Pranit. What is your answer?
4-2, sir.
Fourth one, okay. Let's see who else. Yeah, Vishal.
I got 4.
You got 4th. How about you, Chris?
I got 4, sir.
Okay. Chris,
Got option 4, sir.
you also got 4. How about you, Ria, Danwin, Deep?
I got 4 too, but
You got
I
4.
don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't know how to explain the answer.
Okay. Okay, how about you, Ritika, Sarah, Neil? So you guys are clear with the question part of it, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, Neil, you're saying something.
What's the question?
Question is, there's a circle in the XY plane. So when we say XY plane, this is XY plane. Where the center of the circle is, the coordinates of the center of the circle is 7, 14. Okay? So Neil, you probably missed last one sentence of mine. You were asking me to explain the question, right? The question was, there is a circle in the XY plane. The center of the circle is 7, 14. And 7, 34 is lying on the circle as well. Which of the 4 is the equation for the circle?
Okay.
Yep. Alright. Anybody else who has been, yeah, Dave.
Wait, sir, can we answer the question right now or no?
You can just tell me the answer. How part I will come back to you guys, okay? I don't want everybody. You got?
I said 4.
You also got 4? Okay. So, I'm not asking any of you to give the explanation right now so that we don't create a bias. And I'll come back to you. Rehan, Sunarka, yep. Yes, Sunarka?
I got the same answer.
You got the same answer? Okay. Deep, how about you, beta? Deep, if you're talking mute. How about you? Ritika, Ilak?
I think it's like 4 as well, but I'm not like 100% sure.
Okay. Alright. So most of you have got to a point that you strongly believe that it's option 4. I will let Nikhil start with his story. So Nikhil, how would you teach that to me? Why do you think it's option 4?
So we know that the formula is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So looking at 714, which is the center, and 734, which is a point on the radius, I mean the outer edge of the circle, it has to be 20, has to be the radius. So 20, and it's r squared, radius squared, so it has to be 20 squared, which is 400. So it's x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals 400. Since 7 and 14 are both positive, it has to be x minus 7 squared plus y minus 14 squared equals 400.
Okay. So, yeah, Dev got dropped off. Dev, how would you explain this to me? I heard Nikhil, But do you have any other way of explaining this? I'm just randomly trying to pick your brain, okay? I'm just trying to see who has the simplest way to explain this. Anybody? Yeah, Chris.
Basically, what Nikhil did, since we know the formula is x minus a squared and y minus k squared for the center, you basically just multiply what you have within the parentheses by -1, like the actual number, and then take the square root of the number after the equal sign, and then that's basically what I did.
Okay, cool. How about you, Pranit?
So I noticed that the center and point 1 have the same x values. So I just subtracted the y values because that's the only difference. And that gave me 20 as my radius. And since we already know that the radius has to be squared, it took away the first two options, leaving me 3 and 4. And since we know that the equations for the center, if your center is a positive number, you'd have -7 inside. Take away number 3, leaving me with 4.
Right. Yeah, Ria, you were trying to explain this to me as well. I want to hear it out.
I was gonna say basically the same thing, but my thought process was that since it's +7 and +14, the sign has to be opposite, so it couldn't be options 1 or 3. And then when you look at the next part of the question, you just do the y value subtracted and you get 400 as the radius squared. So it had to be option 4.
See, remember 2 minutes ago, you were saying that I got the answer 4, but I'm not sure how to explain it. Now you have explained that to me in the way I would have wanted it, right? So see, this is what happens when you take a problem, double click on it, exchange your information with the friends, you become more and more confident of what your understanding is, okay? And that's essentially what we do. If I ever claim that I'm teaching everything to you guys, that'll be not right, because there are a lot of things that you are learning by exchanging information within the group as well. Now if I were solving this problem, I will probably borrow the ideas from each one of you. First technique is elimination. Whenever I'm dealing with multiple choice questions, I will use elimination technique so that I don't waste my time and energy for things which are not needed. So now, first thing first, like many of you said, this is my coordinate in the center, 7,14. So this is the first quadrant. And this is also 7,34. This is one point of the circle. That means it's somewhere here. And since the x coordinates are the same for both the points, that means this is vertically up. So if I find out the distance, this is nothing but my radius. And that distance is, here it is 7,14. So, sorry, this is 7,14. And it has gone up to 7,34. So my vertical distance between the 2 points is 34 minus 14, 20. So that apparently became my radius. So, like Ria and Pradeep explained as well, apart from Nikhil, that x minus h square plus y minus k square equal to r square, and where r is the radius. So it has to be 20 square. Whichever has 20 square, that's what I will pick up. These two are gone in the first place because it just gives 20. Now, other thing to note is my x and y coordinates both are positive. So x minus h will remain x minus h, x minus 7. Y minus k will remain y minus k, which is 14. Y minus 14. So the plus option is also ruled out. With all that being done, within 20-30 seconds, as soon as we drew this picture on the coordinate plane, or we just did a rough sketch, we clearly could see that, okay, I can find out the radius in 10 seconds. If I can find the radius in 10 seconds, I can knock off these two guys in 2 seconds. Total 12 seconds. And then the next second I see that, okay, both my values are positive. That means it will remain negative here. This also I will knock off in another 2 more seconds. 15 seconds, I know it's very aggressive. But if you are doing that with a cool head, if you just take 5 more seconds to kind of put your thoughts together, maximum 30 seconds you should be able to knock it off and get the right answer without any problem. So does that make it clear to everybody? Ritika, are you clear, beta?
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Danvin, 100% clear? Rehan? Sarah, Neil? Everybody clear? Okay, wonderful. Now, see, you guys are making me literally jobless. It's you guys who is telling how to solve this problem, and what I'm doing is I'm just taking everybody's idea and putting it on the table. Okay, so that is how it has to be. That's how I'm wanting it to be done in future. Now let's pick up one more problem. A circle in the xy plane has the equation. A circle in the xy plane has the equation x minus 0.8 square plus y minus 0.52, sorry, y minus 5.2 square equal to 1.69. How long is the radius of the circle? Yeah. See, I'm reading the question one more time. The equation of the circle is x minus 0.8 square plus y minus 5.2 square equal to 1.69. How long is the radius of the circle? Yeah. What is your answer?
I got 1.3.
1.3. Okay, how about you, Chris?
Sir, I also got 1.3.
Both the Chris have got same 1.3. Vishal?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody who did not get 1.3? Aryan?
No, I got 1.3.
Ritika also 1.3? Everybody got 1.3, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it's very simple. X minus h square plus y minus k square. So my h is equal to 0.8, k is equal to 5.2, equal to r square. So 1.69 as equal to r square. We know that 13 into 13 gives me 169. So that's how you guys found out 1.3 into 1.3 equal to 1.69. And that is how you said my radius. This is 1.3 square, which makes the radius equal to 1.3. Yep. No doubt, no confusion. Everybody clear? So I will not go further on in it. Okay. Let's pick the next problem. Rudraksh, take a firm chair. Rudraksh, don't take that chair. That makes you a couch potato. Take a firm one. And you still have 50 more minutes. Okay, let's go to the next problem. Next problem is a circle with its center at C passes through point P and is graphed in the xy plane. No, don't corner. It's okay. You want to sit next to me? You can come here. It's okay. It's fine. A circle with its center at C. Circle with its center at C passes through point P and is graphed in the xy plane. Which of the following is an equation for the graph of the circle? Circle in the xy plane, center at C, passes through point P. Which of the following is the equation for the graph of the circle? X plus 1 square plus y square equal to 8. X plus 1 square plus y square equal to 64. X minus 1 square plus y square equal to 8. X minus 1 square plus y square equal to 64. Now, let me read the question one last time for you guys. It says a circle with a center at C. Circle with a center at C passes through point P, is graph in the xy plane. Which of the following is an equation for the graph of the circle? And there are 4 options we are given. Any guesses? I think I will pass this question, okay? I think I made a mistake. It says a circle with the center at C passes through the point P. Which of the following is the equation for the circle? I am guessing that I did not take the picture of the circle because that probably would have had the clue for solving this problem. Okay. So just with the information center at C and passing through P, which is correct, it will be difficult. Let's see if Pranit has a different point of view. Yeah, Pranit. You saying something?
No, I was going to say we need a graph for it.
You need a circle. Yeah. Yeah, Nikhil. Do you have any other way of looking at it?
I mean, I feel like it's either B or D because 8 doesn't have any square roots, but 64 has square root.
Right, but you can still have circle where the radius is not a perfect and not a whole number or natural number. That is still possible, right? So
8 can be square root, it's just not like a pretty number.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, if you can have a circle with radius as square root 2. Yeah. So, anyways, we'll pass this question and we'll move on to the next topic. So, we see basically the idea of all that we were doing so far, the idea was to make sure that the circle theorem that we have learned, are we able to apply that? And if you are able to apply that, are we able to use that understanding for solving some problems, which we could? And good or the bad news is that you guys did not let me teach you anything because you guys were able to solve it by yourself, which is a great news. So that is how I want it to be. So at least I can be relaxed that okay, all my kids have understood the concepts and they are able to apply it. And that was the main motive behind whatever we were doing so far with respect to the circle theorem. Anybody having any question, any doubt before we move on to the next topic? And it's okay to have doubt. I mean, no denying that. No, okay. How about Sarah, Neil, Rehan, Ritika, Sunarka? No doubt. See, the kids are super excited. They are wanting to join the class 15 minutes early. Mandeep, you are 10 minutes early for your class. You'll be stressed out if you hear what I'm doing right now for next 10 minutes. So please join after 10 minutes. Okay? Alright. So let's go to the next topic, which is on the medium level of algebra. So basically if you look at the whole syllabus that we have, be it trigonometry, geometry, be it foundation of advanced math, medium level of advanced math, likewise the algebra also, we have 3 levels of each topics that we have to cover as part of SAT preparation. So right now we are going to start the medium level of algebra. If you guys remember, we had gone through. Well, let me talk about that. So we have certainly gone through the system of linear equations, where we learned about what a linear equation does, how do you deal with multiple linear equations to solve it for x and y. So we'll continue from there, and this topic we will learn the things like solving linear equations and inequalities. And then we'll talk about different situations where linear system equations have one solution, no solution, or infinite number of solutions. And then we'll look at some different types of linear equations. We might not be able to cover all of them. Let's see how all the things that we are able to cover today. So first of all, whenever we talk about linear equation, without any doubt in mind, what comes to our mind is, it's an equation which if I plot on a coordinate plane, it draws a straight line because it has line in it. It has a line in it. Any linear equation we talk about, it plots a straight line in a coordinate plane. That is fine. Now, if I have, let's say, if I have a linear equation like 2x plus y equal to 17. Okay. So Mandeep and Rudraksh, don't stress out.
What?
This is not for you guys. Just listen to this like a blabber. No talking. Otherwise, you'll be disturbing the whole class. I'm just saying that ignore whatever I'm doing right now. Otherwise, you'll get stressed out. Okay. Now, if I have an equation like this, 2x plus y equal to 17, or any equation like this. First interpretation from that is it's a linear equation because the maximum power to x and y is 1. And whenever we come across a situation like that, it draws a straight line for us. How it does? You all would remember, you always make a table for x and y and say, okay, fine. This is a linear equation or any equation for that matter. It's a contract between the variables to get this outcome. If x increases, y decreases to get this number, or vice versa. So, you all know that. I'm not going to waste your time talking about it much. So, I'll say x equal to 0, when x is 0, y is 17, when y is 0, x is 17 by 2, which is 8.5. I just picked 2 points and corrected the 2 points. Let's say I have drawn this line. Now, what this line means? What this line means is, this line, if you look at it carefully, it is made of so many points, so many points, so many points. If I'm just looking at this line here, this is probably made by joining maybe thousands of points, maybe 5,000 points. And every point on this line has x and y coordinates. Are you with me or making you asleep? Are you with me? So basically, I'm just breaking it into very tiny pieces, okay? What I'm saying is, if I have a linear equation, it will draw a line that we all know by now. There's nothing fancy about it. And if it draws a line, every line that we know of is made of so many tiny points that we cannot even count with bare eyes. Even if you take microscope, it will be a big task to count the number of points that you need to make a line. But there's a hidden message here. Yes, Nikhil.
Isn't there infinite points?
Infinite points. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if I'm looking at a small line segment like this big, probably I might be able to count it with some wasteful use of time. Say, okay, fine, it had 5,000 points. But that is not the purpose. What I'm trying to convey here is, each and every point that you see on the line has x and y coordinates. Meaning, it has x and y value. And each of those values are abiding by this contract. Yep. So, in a sense, what I'm trying to say here is, whenever you have an equation like this, a linear equation like this, and that translates into a line for you, you are dealing with infinite number of points, or in a way, infinite number of solutions. You don't have one solution, you have infinite solution if you have just one equation. Do you guys agree?
Yes.
If you just have one linear equation given to you and says find out the value of x and y, you will say that I cannot find you one answer because I have infinite number of answers. That is when, if you have another equation, x minus y equal to 5, let's say, that might end up drawing another line for us. And then you will see it is meeting at one point. If it does, that is the point which abides by the contract for this line as well as the contract for this line, because this point is common. This point is following on both the lines. So it is following the contract of both the equations, and that is what becomes. So for that point, if you find out the x and y value, that becomes one unique solution for this pair of equations. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
So now, if you are given two linear equations, let's say, what are the different possibilities we are talking about? I will just pick your brain for this thought and we'll spend 2-3 minutes and then I'll let you guys go. Yeah. If I have a pair of linear equations, what are the different possibilities we are talking about? Conceptually, let's not try solving it. Yes, Pranit.
You can have infinite 1 or 0 solutions.
Okay. Any other thought? Except the thought coming from Mandeep and Suhina. That's one thought. Okay. Since you guys have only 2 minutes, guys, don't make any sound. There's a class going on and we already have enough space. You don't have to keep on dragging chair for no reason. That chair should be the last chair to be picked up. That's not a good chair for students. Keep it back, keep it back. That's a chair that will make you sleep. Don't use that. Now coming back to this one. Here, let's look at it visually and then I'll let you guys go. Forget about equation, the coordinate plane, every nonsense that you can think of. If I have two lines, what are the possibilities we're talking about? They will probably meet, or they will not meet, or they will just coincide with each other.
What do you mean coincide?
Not for you. Not for you. There is a class going on for 10th graders. I will teach you guys when the time comes, okay? Here, if I am talking about a pair of lines, there are three possibilities that we can come across. One is they will intersect each other at one point, and that's the only possibility of intersection. Or they'll not meet each other, or they will not intersect. That is when they are parallel to each other. And the third situation is when they are coinciding with each other, meaning one line is overlaying the other one. So there are three situations that we talk about or that we can come across. When they are intersecting, you have one solution. When they are coinciding, every point is matching. That is when you have an infinite number of solutions. When they are parallel, that is when you have no solution. And we'll look at it mathematically in the coming class. Alright? Yeah, Ria, you're saying something?
Oh no.
Okay. So I'm assuming everybody is clear. We just looked at the possible solutions that are the options that we'll come across when we deal with that in real life. And in the coming class, we'll talk about the mathematical side of it and then we will take it from there. Alright? With that being said, I'll let all of you go except the kids from level 1.